I'm Keith with Habitat. Today we're going to be showing you how to install cabinets, uppers and lowers. This is part of the flood recovery relief. So to get set up to do the upper cabinets, I've already installed them, but I'm just going to run you through the basics real quick when installing cabinets. Upper cabinets are they're set at 54 inches. You look at the tape measure, you go 54 inches from the floor up. You find the highest spot in your floor. So if your floor is pretty level across, it's usually not a big issue, but if you've got an older home, at that point you just want to take a level, set it down on the floor, and start looking to find where your low or high spots are by looking at the bubble in the level and leveling it out. So if you have to pick up just a little bit, that'll show you where your high spot and your low spots are in your floor. Another nice tool to use is a stud finder. So with the stud finder, before you actually install the cabinets up on the wall, you'll take your stud finder along, run it along the wall, and mark the different spots where the studs are. So when you hang these cabinets, you want to make sure these screws are set into the stud. If it's just set into the drywall itself, and you got to put your dishes in, it's going to cause the cabinets to fall off the wall. Another easy technique too, if it's you and your spouse, your children are doing the cabinets, so you'll take your line, tape measure, and mark 54 inches up along the wall. Take the level, set it on those marks, level it off, and run a line all the way across. Once you run that line, what you're going to do is get a piece of 2x4, a ledger board, and once you have that line, you'll take that, match it up with your line, and screw that to the wall. That helps you so when you take the cabinet, you can set the cabinet on top of this to kind of hold it still while the other person is setting the screws in for you. So what we have, we've got an actual set. It's nice to actually go to a cabinet dealer, have them come out. Most of the time they'll measure for free, and they'll give you a set of schematics to show you exactly how you're going to set this. So they've already have the measurements of the room. They ran it across. So what I did is I took the measurements, ran across, put a mark on the wall, along the sides, a horizontal mark up and down, and a mark over here. So these cabinets are set back 4 3/4 inches from this edge where they marked it. So I just ran a nice little line across, so when I set the cabinet up, it actually has a nice meeting line. And I started with this cabinet first. Once this was set, this next cabinet butts up to it. And there's a filler that went in with that. So this is what they call a filler. And this actually goes in between the two cabinets. So I set this cabinet on the wall, it was level, attached it. You can see the attachments with the screws inside into the studs. I've taken the next cabinet. This is where 2 people are very helpful. I did it by myself, but you can do it, it's a lot easier with 2 people. I put the cabinet up, I had the little ledger board holding it, slid it over to the spacer, and then used some clamps, and I think, there we go, clamps like this to kind of clamp it together as I'm actually setting them. So put it up against the wall, slid it over close, put the clamps in just to kind of hold it, and then attached it to the wall and worked my way across. And that's how you install the actual upper cabinets. These are the over the microwave range cabinets. At that point, this one's only 12 inches, so I took the measurements and drew a line across where that's going to sit too, so that it's all level. Put a little ledger board in and set that one up also and continue to cross. Now Tony's going to show you how to do the lower cabinets as we start setting those.
How you doing? I'm Tony with Fayetteville Habitat. Keith just showed you the upper cabinets. I'm going to go through what it takes to start setting the lower cabinets. Now, per our schematics that we got from the retailer, they told us that we needed to be 3 inches off the wall, so we went ahead and put our 3-inch spacing in, first of all. And then what you want to do is you want to take a 4-foot level preferably, and you want to run it from corner to corner this way, as well as corner to corner this way, and then also straight across this way, and you want to try to find level. Now, the best thing to do is if you don't have level whenever you first put it on there, you're going to get yourself some wood shims, and you're going to go ahead and start pushing it back or whatever you need to do to use your shims to get it to level out. I've already got shims in place underneath this one right here. I've already got my cabinet level. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and fasten it to the wall. And I'm going to get Keith to go ahead and help me do this real quick. So now that I've got level, I'm going to take these two. We've already gone through and marked our stud location with the stud finder on the cabinet itself.
You can actually mark the wall too, because you're going to have a countertop going on there, so it's not a big deal if you put marks on the wall, because most countertops have an upper lip that will cover all that.
So I'm going to go ahead and we use these screws that have the bigger cap head on them so that you can actually, it holds the cabinet better. You don't really want to use drywall screws, they just won't hold it as good. I'm going to go ahead and And for lowers, you know, honestly, you don't need to put very many screws into the lowers. You know, they're sitting on the floor themselves, they're sitting on the shims. Another trick too is, say you get going and you have, you know, a good deal of shim sticking out. You're just going to take a knife and you'll score the shim along the face of the cabinet. And then the way the cabinet will actually let you break the shim off in place. And that way the part of the shim that you need to be under the cabinet is still under the cabinet, but then you're doing away with all the excess that's sticking out.
Just do that carefully, especially if you have your vinyl floor already in, so you don't slip and cut your vinyl floor up.